Subscribe to Ancient Absurdity.
Hey there. Tonight, you're not clocking into your cozy office job or scrolling through email hell. You're clocking into history's weirdest shift schedule. Early America, where work was a fever dream dressed as civilization. This was a world where capitalism still smelled like wood smoke and wet socks, where career advice came from the local tavern, and half the jobs existed because someone had to do the disgusting thing no one else would. So before you lean back, like the video and subscribe. But only if you actually enjoy learning why our ancestors were one bad idea away from a fungal infection. Dim the lights, take a breath, and imagine you've just woken up in 1765. The air smells like horse sweat and revolution. Somewhere nearby, a man is screaming about taxes. You have no resume, no deodorant, and one mission: get hired. Let's see what's available, shall we? 1. The mosquito hunter. You step into the swamps of Virginia armed with a stick, maybe a bucket. Your new title: mosquito hunter. Yes, it was real. Wealthy colonists, especially those terrified of miasma and malaria, paid unlucky souls like you to track, trap, or smash mosquitoes before they bit. You spend your days slapping your own neck, sweating through linen, and inventing early mosquito control by trial and error. Some hunters burned animal dung to smoke them out. Others stirred stagnant pools to confuse their breeding. You just smell like burnt cow and regret. By evening, you're covered in bites, and your employer's plantation still hums like a biological alarm clock. You didn't stop the mosquitoes. You just made them angry. 2. The colonial urine collector. Your second job is even less glamorous. Someone in Boston needs lye for tanning leather and bleaching cloth. You, lucky you, are the urine collector. At dawn, you haul barrels from taverns and alleyways filled with the fermented waste of your fellow patriots. Liquid gold, they call it. It's your job to store, ferment, and deliver the stuff to soap makers and tanners. You learn the hard way that nothing smells like early American ambition, quite like a summer barrel of old ale and human waste. The worst part: people know your route. They wrinkle their noses as you pass, but still wave, because you're technically keeping the economy afloat. When independence comes, they'll celebrate freedom with fireworks. You'll celebrate by burning your shoes. 3. The corpse messenger. Funeral customs in early America were casual. There weren't always undertakers. Instead, small towns hired corpse messengers, people who went house to house announcing deaths and funerals. You knock on doors with the world's worst catchphrase: "There's been a passing." Sometimes you're paid in cider, sometimes not. You carry a small black ribbon, a death list, and an expression so serious it could curdle milk. In small towns, people begin to fear your knock more than taxes. By winter, you're haunted by the faces of those you've announced, and you start knocking a little softer each time, just in case it's your own name next. 4. The professional mourner. When rich families needed to look devastated, they hired you. The professional mourner. Your job: cry loudly, dramatically, and convincingly, ideally in black lace. You're the theater kid of the 18th century, performing grief like it's Broadway. You wail at funerals, collapse at doorways, and sometimes faint strategically to remind everyone how deep your sorrow runs. It's all performance. The widow gives you a nod mid-ceremony to weep harder. Someone slips you extra coins if you sob into your sleeve during the eulogy. You're not mourning the dead. You're mourning your dignity. 5. The leech farmer. Medicine in early America was mostly guesswork and hope. Bloodletting was the cure for everything from headaches to heartbreak, which meant one thing: leeches. And someone had to farm them. That's you. You wade into murky ponds, bare-legged, waiting for the slimy little saviors to attach. Then you peel them off, store them in jars, and sell them to doctors who think you're doing the Lord's work. You smell like mud, decay, and maybe science. Each leech earns you a few cents and a lifetime of scars. When you get home, your legs look like a battlefield map of questionable medicine. Still, someone's got to keep the bloodletting business supplied, and at least leeches don't talk back. 6. The town crier. Before newspapers, before Twitter, before attention spans, there was you, the town crier. You stand in the square, brass bell in hand, shouting the news to people who definitely didn't ask. Hear ye, you yell, announcing tax changes, marriages, and sometimes public executions. You are colonial America's Wi-Fi, loud, unreliable, and easily distracted by cider. On cold mornings, your voice echoes through cobblestone alleys, carrying both civic duty and mild phlegm. You memorize entire proclamations by heart, and when people throw things, you call it feedback. By sundown, your throat's on fire, but at least you've gone viral, in the 1770s sense. 7. The chimney sweep child. Last but most tragic, the chimney sweep child. If you're small enough to fit in a chimney, congratulations, you're hired. You crawl into soot-black tunnels with nothing but a brush and the vague hope of oxygen. The soot burns your lungs, the walls scrape your skin, and you emerge looking like a ghost's understudy. Your employer calls you lucky because you can still fit in narrow flues. You don't feel lucky. You feel like a human broom. Sometimes you get stuck, sometimes worse. The city smells like smoke and child labor, but at least the fireplaces are clean. A warm comfort bought with small hands and smaller pay. So tonight, as you settle into your clean bed, remember, someone once made a living collecting pee, shouting the news, or bleeding for science. Early America wasn't all powdered wigs and patriotism. It was a desperate, hilarious experiment in survival. Every strange job was a brick in the foundation of a country, still figuring out how to work without dying. History is filthy, ridiculous, and magnificent, and the next time you complain about your 9 to 5, remember, at least you're not the mosquito hunter. Good night, strange laborer. Sleep in peace. You've earned your shift off.